Hi everyone. One of the most common scenario in a construction industry is managing lots and lots of images. Now, these could be images from the construction site, images about projects, images about buildings or the interiors. And all these images are usually stored in a content management system. In our case, we are storing it in SharePoint. As you can see, the images are stored in a document library, but just by looking at these images, you can't tell what this image is about. The names are pretty randomized. However, you can change the view, and if you change it to tiles, you can see a preview of what this image is about. But other than that, you do not have a metadata. So, for instance, I cannot search for images with a desk, for instance, because the search has no clue about the image that has a desk in it. So for us to enable that capability, we'll have to somehow extract the objects that are within each of these images. And this is what we will do today in this video using a capability called skills, which is part of Copilot in SharePoint. So let's get started with this scenario. We'll start by clicking on this Copilot layer button, Copilot in SharePoint, and then open chat. So the first thing we are going to do here is we are going to ask AI to identify primary objects in these images. So let me select one of the image here and I'll paste a prompt. Identify primary objects from the selected image. Format the output as a single line with comma delimited objects. Now, this prompt is working on the selected image. I could have also selected multiple image and issued the same prompt. Okay, so now the AI is telling us that the image has pencil, caliper, ball bearing, technical. It's a technical drawing paper and wooden table. Now let's issue one more prompt. Same image, we are saying now identify background objects from the selected image, format the output as a single line of text, which is comma delimited. Now I do not want to update the column yet, so I'm going to take this out. Now telling me the background object includes wooden table, technical drawing paper, and pencil. Now, this is amazing information. I do not want to lose this information. So I want this information to be stored in the columns. You will notice there are two columns here, primary objects and background objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a prompt which says update the column primary objects with the output. So with this prompt, we are asking Copilot to store this information in the columns, and it is updating the file metadata. There you go. We have pencil, caliper, ball bearing as primary object, and we also have the background object as wooden table and technical drawing. Now this looks amazing. Now I do not want to issue the same prompts again and again for all the images. This looks great. I want to create a skill. So I want to create a skill so that Copilot knows how to perform this action for other images. Now in future, as I have more images, now I can just use the skill to identify the primary and background objects and update the metadata. So I have everything that I need to create a skill. So what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to issue a prompt that tells Copilot to create a skill for this task and name the skill construction image tagger. Now, Copilot has the context about what we have been doing so far. It knows that we have identified primary object, we have identified background object, and we have updated the metadata columns. Now it is going to use this context and create a skill. Okay, so now we have this skill for this task. Let's see how the skill looks like. We'll go to the agent assets folder. Now this is the special folder where all the skills are stored. Let me refresh this library. Here we have construction image tagger skill, and within this you will find there is skill.md file. Now let's take a look at this before we run this on our images. Okay, so it has a trigger word, tag this construction image, identify, there are various trigger sentences here, and you can obviously update this skill file if you want your own triggers. It has a direction on when to use, um, and then it also has inputs, it has steps of what it needs to do, and it also has an output. So you will notice it has some error uh, control as well. Uh, so for instance, in step 7, you will notice it says if any tool fails or returns empty, say so plainly and do not invert tags. So it is pretty robust skill file. I'm not going to make any updates, but you can obviously go ahead and change the skill file as required. Now let's give it a try. Let me select multiple images, and I'm going to issue command tag these construction images. There you go. The skill is now working as expected. Now let's make sure, let's close this chat, Copilot chat. We have these images. Now not only we have the image file names, but we also have very rich metadata. What are the primary objects and what are the background objects? It has a workbench, circular saw, wall, and in the background we have a drywall, patches, and workbench. So this works really great. Now let me see if the search is working. Now let's say I have thousands and thousands of these construction images. I want to search for the one that includes a workbench. So I can go here in the search, I can say workbench. And now because we have a metadata extracted, now you will notice the search has identified image 2 as the one that includes workbench. Not only you can use it in search, you can also use it in Copilot. You can say, find me image that includes a workbench. Yep, and it has found image 02 just because we used Copilot to identify the primary and background objects in each of these images and store them as metadata. So as you can see, skills within Copilot in SharePoint is a very powerful and also at the same time very easy to use and create capability. Your business users can now use these capabilities to quickly enrich all those images that they have stored in SharePoint. Uh, I have showed you example of construction images, but as you can imagine, this will work absolutely fine with other kind of images in your enterprise. Thank you so much.